Please help me welcome General Ben Freakley.
Ooh.
Thank you, General P. Sir, it's great to be with you today, and thank you for your leadership, your continued leadership to our nation and to these young leaders here at Virginia Military Institute. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, General P., General Bartell, Mr. Shaw, members of the Marshall Foundation, distinguished guests, and most importantly, our cadets and award recipients of the General of the Army George Catlett Marshall Award. It is indeed an honor to be with you this morning and for part of the day, and I've anticipated this opportunity to be with you for some time, as General Bartell would probably attest. I've called him multiple times saying, when is it? When we're going to be together? When are we going to VMI and see these great future leaders of our Army? Congratulations on your selection to participate in this great seminar, and I hope you apply yourself to the greatest extent that you can in the next several days. These are indeed exciting times for you here amongst your peers to share your ideas, and it's a time to think about beginning your career. Your college education is almost finished, and I'm sure you and your parents and those of you who have spouses are all about to rejoice. But your military education is about to begin, and I would ask you to start here today on this hallowed ground to dedicate yourself to your military education and be the best leader that you can possibly be. Give it your best when you get to Basic Officer Leadership Course B, as it's called today. Do not, as some of you will tell me when I'll see you in several months, well, sir, I just graduated from X school and I'm kind of taking it easy right now. Don't take it easy in BOLC B. Get going. And many of you have long dates until you arrive from commissioning to BOLC B. And it is a time for preparation. It is not a time off. It is indeed a time on to study our profession, to get into the field manuals, to read history, to be as physically fit as your body will allow you to be. As a drill sergeant told someone last week, and I was in his presence, well, ma'am, if you don't throw up, you're not trying hard enough. He in front of a group, just to tell you about the sergeant you're going to lead, in front of a group of high school kids, he bet them he could do 60 push-ups in 30 seconds. And they said, no way. He, in fact, did 70. That's the sergeants that will populate the platoons you're about to take. So give it your best. You're going to lead America's treasure, our sons and daughters, and you will lead them in combat. You're joining an army for deployment, not employment. So how will you prepare for that leadership role? And I would just like to share a few ideas with you about that leadership role and a mindset that you're going to bring to military training to hone your body, your mind, and your spirit to lead and serve our soldiers and our nation. Well, no surprise, after you think about the big four, marksmanship, physical fitness, combat life-saving, and battle drills, my ideas don't come from me. They come in part from two Virginians. Don't know how that works out, sir, but two Virginians is where they come from. The first four ideas come from the 20th century's greatest mind, military and state leader, General George C. Catlett Marshall, Jr. In 1920, then Major George Marshall wrote a letter to General Mallory expressing his thoughts on the attributes of a combat leader. He said in the letter the following: assuming that you possess common sense, and ladies and gentlemen, your soldiers and non-commissioned officers pray that you have common sense, have studied your profession and are physically strong, these are General Marshall's, then Major Marshall's, 4 combat leader attributes. The first, he said, was, when conditions are difficult, the command is depressed, and everyone seems critical and pessimistic, you must be especially cheerful and optimistic. You see, optimism carries the day for our soldiers in combat. They will wonder about separation from home, possible loss of life, possible loss of a buddy, possible questions about the validity of the mission. But the optimistic leader delivers to the soldier the belief that they can and will accomplish the task at hand. It is you who must bring optimism forward and into the breasts of the soldiers that you lead. Your optimism will ensure that they accomplish the mission. For General Marshall talked about morale, and he said morale is a state of mind. It is a steadfastness in courage and hope. It is confidence and zeal and loyalty. It is elan, esprit de corps, and determination. Optimism lifts morale. Morale wins the day. His second point was that when evening comes and all are exhausted, hungry, and possibly dispirited, particularly in unfavorable weather, at the end of a march or in battle, you must put aside any thought of personal fatigue and display marked energy in looking after the comfort of your organization, inspecting your lines, and preparing for tomorrow. It is your energy that will take away the enemy's vote. For the enemy always has a vote, and when you come back and want to rest, but instead prepare your soldiers for the fight, you will checkmate the enemy's determination. I'm reminded of a young lieutenant in the 10th Mountain Division when we were in Afghanistan in the summer of 2006. His name is Lieutenant Darren Riley, now Captain Darren Riley. He was a mounted platoon leader in a weapons company for an infantry battalion, and they were conducting patrols up and down a river in Afghanistan all day long. Hot, tiring, highly charged with adrenaline because of improvised explosive devices and complex ambushes. And Lieutenant Riley got his soldiers in a position that night, and all around him was high ground. And there were mountain spurs coming off the high ground, and he thought in each one of these positions the enemy could maneuver and place mortars or rocket-propelled grenades or machine guns and fire down on our formation. So Lieutenant Riley took his time with his field artillery observer, and they lased in each one of the positions around them. And they positioned the 50 caliber machine guns and the Mark 19 40 millimeter grenade launchers. He placed them all in position. After midnight, they were attacked from 270 degrees simultaneously. In under 5 minutes, Lieutenant Riley had mortars, artillery, called for Apaches, and close air support, all of them delivering devastating fires on the opponent. One soldier was wounded, Lieutenant Riley. When he repositioned a machine gunner, leaning over, giving him a sector of fire, a rocket-propelled grenade struck behind him and wounded him in the back. He fully recovered. But his marked energy that General Marshall talks about, instead of climbing into a Humvee after a long day's fight, made the difference and saved the day and defeated the enemy. Marked energy and optimism. Thirdly, General Marshall said, make a point of extreme loyalty and thought and deed to your chiefs personally, and in your efforts to carry out their plans or policies. The less you approve, the more energy you must direct to their accomplishment. You see, loyalty, ladies and gentlemen, binds an organization together. When the team believes in each other, is loyal to each other, cares about each other, that pulls the team together. General Marshall said, don't fight the problem, decide the problem. And once your commander decides the problem with loyalty, give orders in your name and pull the organization together.